Last month, I took a look at Adobe Project Indigo, an app that overrides Apple's post-processing stack for its own, creating images that look far closer to a dedicated mirrorless camera than ones from a smartphone. In today's video, I want to showcase some other apps that completely transform the way that your iPhone's photos and videos look. Let's take a look at Mood, a film camera simulator, and Pearla, a video app that promises open-gate video recording, film simulations, and custom log recording. The Mood camera app promises to let you take photos with an authentic film look to it. Unlike something like VSCO, which simply applies a filter onto your existing photo, Mood uses Apple's ProRAW processing pipeline to more accurately map colors and exposure to fit a film style. The app not only comes with over 10 styles to choose from, but you can also create your own preset or grab some from the community subreddit. This is where my first problem comes with the app, and that is that making custom profiles isn't as granular as it should be. It is basically a fancy way to change color temperature, brightness and contrast. You are expected to use an existing film style and tweak that instead. To contrast that with positive, that is a pun. This app lets you choose the aspect ratio of the image, so you can make it 3:2, like the aspect ratio of film, and you can set the default focal length, which I set at 35mm since I like it. Back to the negatives, you cannot see how the filter you've used looks until you snap the shot. I understand the reason why. You are using the viewfinder like you would on an SLR, and with film you don't know how the picture will turn out until it's developed. But this also ends up being a bit of a trial and error, wasting battery to take photos until you find the right film stock for the shoot, since the reference images in the app hardly correlate to the actual image output. I almost wish that you could see a preview of the film stock on the viewfinder, then be locked into it for 24 or 36 shots, kind of like the X-Half camera does. A positive of the app is that you can choose how much dynamic range you want, but this fell flat on its face once I started underexposing the pictures, so I left it at low for the rest of the shoot as it seemed to emulate film's dynamic range okay. Although yes, I do understand that different film stocks have different dynamic ranges, but you know what I mean. We also have a portrait mode that works well since I imagine it uses Apple's implementation. So for the actual pictures, well, I don't know, I wasn't too impressed. I couldn't get a film stock that looked like actual film and not a 2014 Instagram filter. My OnePlus 12 in its stock camera app had better film simulations than this app, I'm sorry. And it's a shame because I really wanted to like this app. I like what the developer has done with it, such as the inclusion of realistic halation and the really nice grain on the images, but I don't know. When I make my Fuji or Sony pictures look like film, I spend hours using the reference photos shot on film to make a very close copy. And maybe with the exception of gold, I don't really know what films this app is trying to emulate. Like the names are obviously references to film stock, but they don't really look like what they're trying to emulate. It's really annoying because I did get some awesome shots, really flipping strong ones, but that's like 5 good images out of 27. And I think that there is a really strong foundation. And once the developer allows some more customizability of the custom presets with things like HSL sliders and color wheels, or maybe making more presets that do more to the images and especially the colors, it could be a really strong app. I do also have to make an appreciation to the fact that the app can be bought outright instead of being locked into a subscription. It is £15 for lifetime access. You also get a free 7-day trial with no requirement to subscribe to enter the trial, as after the trial period you can still use the app in the random filters mode. So I do recommend giving it a go and trying it out. You might like it more than I did. Funnily enough, I wasn't expecting Pearla to impress me much, but it turned out to be a way cooler app than expected. One of the big selling points of Pearla is the ability to shoot OpenGate. You know how your phone takes pictures in 4:3 and videos in 16:9? That's because it's cropping into the phone's sensor, which is 4:3. Pearla allows you to turn that crop off. There isn't really a huge reason why you'd want to do this, other than because it's neat, for reframing your footage in post without losing resolution, or for making videos for both horizontal and vertical platforms, like YouTube and TikTok respectively. But okay, if you've used Android before, you know Motion Cam can do this too. But this app has so many features up its sleeve that I wasn't expecting. The static stabilization option ends up creating genuinely gimbal-like smoothness, with seemingly the only cost being a second delay in the viewfinder and a bit of a crop. You can choose film simulation styles, which you can see me changing throughout the sample clips. They are a bit exaggerated, don't get me wrong, but at least if you shoot log, you can then make your own film loot or download other ones in Premiere. So I realized I haven't tried shooting in log yet, so here it is. I'm shooting in Sony S-Log 2. This app has a lot of different ways that you can shoot log, depending on what main camera you have, so that way in theory all of your loots should be compatible with your iPhone footage, which is crazy if true. We'll have to switch to me editing this video to find out if it works correctly. But if that doesn't tickle your fancy, you can make your own film simulations in the app. We get a tad more customizability than with Mood, although ultimately it is a very similar experience. Plus you can also use these filters for photo mode, which while it only shoots at 12 megapixels, I overall prefer these film simulations to the ones from Mood. They look more like film. And for photos and videos, we also get fake grain, which you can customize to your liking or turn off. The issue with recording OpenGate, as I've come to find out, is that despite the high pixel count on the video, it does actually look quite blurry and possibly even aliased. I don't think you could see a difference on YouTube since YouTube's compression makes the video look better than it is, but here's a static picture of all the different modes. The app's UX is also a bit glitchy. Man, I do struggle to get out of the settings when the phone is horizontal. Plus, the app does really have a bit of a learning curve. It's like the Sony menu has been ported to iPhone, and the app sometimes blows the video out to being pure white, and I have to lightly adjust the EV and it'll reset itself. Also, the AF seems to be randomly slow or just stop working entirely. But it does have so many neat features, like HDMI out, anamorphic lens support, and so on. So while the app has some work to do, I could absolutely see myself using it in the future. However, what might stop me from doing so is the lack of being able to purchase the app outright. The app costs £4 a month or £26 a year, which is really steep in my opinion. So it may just be a case of I'll buy a month's subscription when I'm on holiday. Motion Cam costs £25 to buy outright, versus Pearla's £26 a year, so I do hope that a developer rethinks the subscription options. So that's me done for this video. Please let me know if I missed anything about these two apps or if there's any other apps that I should check out. But for now, thanks for watching.